Hey, hey, I want to say something really quickly about President Obama or the government and dealing with BP and the oil spill. I think what people have already recognized and have said many times is that the damage has already been done. Yes, the damage has already been done, so you can't blame the government for the misgivings of BP for what they did. And I believe the role of the government is to step in, regulate, hold these people accountable. But there's been some decisions, like we had the same situation with, was it, well, who was it? Toyota, with the cars that were speeding up and that they weren't forthcoming with the information. So therefore they lacked the integrity. And so that's one valuable point, is that we see how not having integrity, accountability, being honest can greatly affect other people's lives. Like, they knew about, like, I forgot the name of the car. I believe it was Toyota. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But the situation with the car company where the electromagnetic waves were screwing up the mechanisms for the acceleration, and we were having random deaths of people just accelerating because their cars were just accelerating to, however, 120 miles per hour because they passed some poles. To me, that's two problems. You need to be mindful of the poles and the electromagnetic waves, because there's cluster cancer and stuff like that. That obviously, if it's thwarting a system in a car mechanism like an EMP or whatever, electromagnetic pulse, if it's messing that up, then obviously it's got to be doing something to our human bodies. And the same thing with the telephone companies that are talking about with the cell phones, that they're giving out radiation that is causing brain cancer, and so they're saying that this information is inconclusive when they might darn right know that this is a problem, and that people, especially people who are on the phone a lot, like lawyers and stuff like that. What's the name who died of Johnny Cochran? And he was from Buffalo, So, that we have these instances of casualties and fatalities based on people, corporations not representing the truth about their product in order to make more money, and saying screw public safety. And so that kind of integrity, that's the level and esteem. Like, we think that we can allow our morals to slide on these kind of issues when they're extremely detrimental. We are held accountable, and there has to be a system of checks and balances, else there will be problems. Now, the fact that they have allowed this to go on for however long and did not cap this thing immediately is a problem, especially when they knew it. And, they had specialists. I mean, it was a simple thing. It's like, here, if we see a photograph of it, we can track the velocity over time of how much, maybe they can't see the depth, but they can just track over a 6-inch hole, or however big the hole is. If you take the volumetrics from that and then extrapolate the speed and the time of a particle moving from there, then you can get the information on how much is being dumped in it. And there were experts saying that this is what is happening. It's a 50,000 to 70 barrels of oil being dumped into the natural environment and that we live in and that we eat and drink from. Poisons, toxins. There's no excuse for that. I don't care how much money you make. So this needs to be really addressed, and I don't think that you can hold the government responsible for their lack of integrity for those corporations with this type of lack of integrity. If you have a problem, blow the whistle, stop the line, safety first. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that, you know, some of the people are going to use this as a situation to just fry Obama when he has nothing to do with the corporation's personal integrity. And, you know, in general, America, we have to be mindful of our integrity. If we let our morals, our values, and those things slip, like all of a sudden we're going to start changing the moral institutions, you know, that reflect society just for the sake of somebody else's money, like how we're doing with marriage. I believe that is completely wrong. And we need to not do that, because when you express an attitude, it's okay, nobody cares, what difference does it make? We'll find out that those differences that it make are extremely fatal at times, depending on how it could have different kind of consequences, moral or spiritual, you know, that will affect us, you know. So that's my whole point. And, you know, in a nutshell, you know, this is not, Obama did not cause this problem. Don't try to blame Obama for it. You know, yes, they are. The government yes, he has a right as the national leader, the commander-in-chief, to say, what the hell are you doing? Stop this and get it together and get it fixed. You know, that's a sense of professionalism that everybody has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. You cannot slack on that. And if you find yourself slacking, then you have to find other ways of making it, you know, checks and balances, you know. So anyway, nobody's perfect. So even if a mistake is made, you know, we have to do our best to correct it. You know, of course, well, let me say this about BP. BP has an attitude that they have so many jobs and employees that they can't be touched. And that kind of arrogance is why situations like this happens. You know, and that's I think in general, we all, you know, we say, oh, we can't be touched, nothing's going to happen, what are the consequences? We don't think about that. So that's my point, is you know, you can, you know, pride cometh before a fall. So, you know, we talk all this crap about how bad we are and how we got it together, and then we find out that we really don't, you know, when the hit hits the fan. Anyway, all right, back to work. Well, praise God, and have a great week, and hopefully we can get this stuff resolved, and we can start to have damage control and start to constructively fix this. And, you know, I think that it would be good to let every corporation know that, you know, you have a responsibility to the people that you serve. And even with food, you know, you should not be allowed to sell garbage. You know, stuff that, you know, that you just know is not going to, you know, food and food byproducts that make people sick and stuff like that. You know, there has to be a moral sense of value and integrity about this stuff. And that's with everything. And we need to maintain institutions that promote that. God bless you all. Love you.